My sister relied on me as her unpaid babysitter until the day I discovered her baby shivering on my doorstep. Before I continue, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from. And remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the video so you don't miss future stories. I should have expected all of this. When my sister revealed she was pregnant at 23, everyone treated it like she'd hit the jackpot. My mother practically organized a celebration. Meanwhile, I was 28, engaged to Marcus in Germany, focusing on my career, yet somehow still considered the family disappointment. That had always been the pattern. My sister could burn the kitchen making toast, and my mother would applaud her effort. I could achieve something meaningful and still be asked why I hadn't done it earlier. The roles were decided long ago. My sister was the baby of the family, the one who needed constant attention. I was the reliable one, the person who existed to make things smoother for everyone else. When she crashed my mother's car at 17, I was blamed for not driving her more often. When she dropped out of college after one semester, I was told I should have been more encouraging. The babysitting schedule appeared before the baby was even born. Laminated, color-coded, and detailed. Tuesdays and Thursdays after work, alternate weekends, and every major holiday. Families should stick together, my mother said at Sunday dinner. I stared at the schedule for several minutes. I never agreed to this, I said. My sister didn't look up from her phone. Mom said you'd help. I said you'd help, she replied. My mother added that familiar smile that wasn't a real smile. Family supports each other, Rowan. Or did you forget that while planning your European life? That European life was simply my fiancé's job offer, something I had agonized over for months. Marcus had been offered a senior role at his company's Berlin headquarters, with a salary that would let us finally stop stressing about money, buy a home, maybe start a family someday. We planned to move after our wedding in 8 months. I'd brought it up during family dinners, but each time I did, my mother looked like I'd announced plans to abandon all traditional values. I have a job, I began. Yeah, and I'm about to have a baby, my sister shot back. Babies are harder than jobs. You work during the day. I need help at night. I didn't say I wouldn't help sometimes, I replied. But this is 2 evenings a week and every other weekend. That's basically a part-time job. That's family, my mother cut in. This is how family works. I need to think about this, I said. What is there to think about? My sister asked. You don't have kids. Your job is just sitting at a computer. Marcus isn't even in the country. Why are you being so selfish? Selfish. Because wanting to keep control over my own life and schedule was apparently selfish. I should have set boundaries then, but I didn't. I said I would think about it, which everyone knew meant yes. That same night, she posted on social media a professional photo announcing how blessed she was to have a wonderful sister already committed to helping raise her baby. My phone lit up with comments. I'd been cornered publicly. I called her immediately. Loud party music blasted in the background. Take the post down, I said. I didn't agree to a full babysitting schedule. She laughed. Actually laughed. Oh my God, Rowan. Why do you make everything so dramatic? It's a few hours a week. Normal people help their siblings. Normal people don't melt down over a Facebook post. Normal people ask before assigning someone else responsibility, I said. I'm asking for help, not giving orders, she replied. You're not asking. You're announcing. The music grew louder, and I heard men laughing. She was at a party, 7 months pregnant. I'm not dealing with this right now, she said. The post stays. If you want to look like a terrible person by backing out, that's on you. But everyone already knows you said yes. Then she hung up. I had been maneuvered into childcare through social pressure. The baby arrived in early March. My sister went into labor at 3 a.m. and insisted I come immediately. When I arrived, she scrolled through her phone between contractions, arguing with the father. They had broken up, but he showed up anyway with a stuffed elephant. She called security on him. Bean was born at 7:42 a.m., weighing 6 pounds 11 ounces. My sister took one look at him and handed him back to the nurse. Bean isn't his real name. I'm using it for privacy because he was so tiny and wrinkly, like a little bean. Even his father uses the nickname now. I'm tired, my sister said. Someone else take him for a while. I held him for the first time while she slept. He was tiny, red, wrinkly, and already looked irritated with this world. My mother arrived later with balloons and enough clothes for triplets, recording everything before my sister even woke up. The first emergency babysitting happened when Bean was 3 weeks old. My sister showed up unannounced at 7 p.m. "I have a date," she said, handing me a bag. "A date? You gave birth 3 weeks ago." "It's been forever since I felt human," she said. "I need this." Bean was crying and she backed toward the door. "How long?" I asked. "I don't know." "A few hours. I'll text you." She left before I could protest. Bean cried nonstop for 4 hours. I tried everything: feeding, changing, walking, bouncing, singing. Nothing helped. At midnight, still pacing with a screaming baby, my phone buzzed. "Staying at a friend's tonight. Thanks for watching him. You're the best." A friend, right? She had planned not to return. I called Marcus. It was 6 a.m. in Berlin. "I don't know what I'm doing," I said. "He won't stop crying. She just left him here." "You're doing fine," he said. "Babies cry. It doesn't mean you're failing." "It feels like failing," I whispered. "I'm enabling her. I'm helping her avoid being responsible." "Maybe," he said gently. "But right now the baby needs someone. Focus on that." Bean finally fell asleep at 2 a.m. I placed him safely on my bed, surrounded by pillows, and collapsed on the couch. My sister arrived at noon the next day, hungover and wearing the same clothes. She didn't ask if I had slept. "He cried for 4 hours," I said. "Yeah, he does that. Colic or something." "You could have warned me." "I'm warning you now," she said, already heading for the door. "Thanks for watching him. You're a lifesaver." She left again, and I was furious with myself for not saying no. That should have been the moment I enforced boundaries. But family is family, according to my mother. When I mentioned the situation at Sunday dinner, she said, "She's adjusting. Being a single parent is hard. You need to be supportive." I am. But she didn't even ask. She shouldn't have to ask. Your family. Meanwhile, my sister kept score, every favor added to an invisible list I supposedly owed her. Any hesitation meant I was selfish or unsupportive. By month 2, Tuesday and Thursday evenings had turned into overnight stays because she needed time for online classes. The irony wasn't lost on me. Around month 3, I started noticing worrying things. Bean always arrived extremely hungry. His diapers were overflowing, his clothes were dirty, his diaper rash persistent. He was too quiet, like he had learned that crying wouldn't get him attention. I gently mentioned it at Sunday dinner. My sister rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, Rowan. Some of us are just trying to survive. Do you want to help or criticize me?" My mother added, "Your sister is doing her best. You have a career and a fiancé. She's struggling. Be kind." There was no winning. Speaking up meant I was cruel. Staying silent meant I was enabling neglect. I chose helping. What else could I do? Call child services on my own sister? That felt irreversible. I should have called. The bruises appeared when Bean was 5 months old, small marks on his upper arms shaped like someone gripping him too hard. I took photos before asking her. "He was squirming," she said immediately. "Babies squirm. But you wouldn't know because you don't have kids. Stop judging me." I wasn't judging. I was terrified, but I took more photos anyway. I showed Marcus that night. He looked concerned. "That doesn't look normal," he said. "I don't know what's normal," I admitted. "Maybe I'm imagining issues because I resent all this. Or maybe you're seeing real problems," he said. "This isn't just babysitting anymore." Corrections. I started a hidden folder on my phone with timestamps and notes about Bean's condition each visit. It felt wrong, but necessary. Around 6 months, Bean's father approached me outside my workplace. He looked worn out. He told me about my sister's drug use, during pregnancy and after. He had tried getting custody but lacked proof. The family dismissed him. He said, "If something seems wrong, don't ignore it. Call someone. She's not safe, and eventually it will hurt him." I called Marcus that night again. I told him everything. "Do you believe him?" he asked. "I don't know, but it explains a lot." He told me to keep watching, keep documenting, and call if something truly frightened me. The holidays were chaos. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all became babysitting shifts while my sister partied. My mother called it self-care. Thanksgiving was especially difficult. My sister dropped Bean off Wednesday evening for a few hours. That became overnight and all of Thursday morning. She arrived 4 hours late for dinner with nothing prepared. My mother just said gently, We should have planned better. Yet she lectured me for arriving late after a diaper blowout. Christmas was even worse. She picked him up on Christmas afternoon for family dinner and saw the toys. You didn't have to do all that, she said, but she still took them, loading everything into her car like she'd bought them herself. At dinner, she accepted praise from relatives for being such a caring mother, for choosing perfect gifts, for knowing exactly what babies enjoy. I stayed quiet. What was I supposed to say? That she'd left her 8-month-old alone on Christmas morning and hadn't gotten him a single present? That I was underwriting her motherhood on top of giving free childcare? It would make me look petty, bitter. It would feed into what my family already believed, that I was jealous, difficult, unable to be supportive without keeping score. My fiancé couldn't visit for the holidays. Visa timing meant he had to stay in Germany until after New Year's. We'd planned for me to visit him in February, a 2-week trip that would be our last long visit before the wedding in June. I'd bought the plane tickets 6 months early, requested time off, told my family about it at least 70 times in different conversations. My sister scheduled a beach vacation for the exact same 2 weeks. Perfect timing, my mother said brightly when my sister announced it at Sunday dinner in January. Rowan can watch Bean while you relax. You really need a break. You've been so stressed. I'm going to Germany, I said flatly. I have plane tickets. I've had them for 6 months. I've talked about this trip repeatedly. Oh, but you can go anytime. Your sister needs this now. She's dealing with so much. Her mental health is fragile. Marcus will understand. He'd want you to help family. I haven't seen Marcus in 4 months. We're getting married in 5 months. This trip matters. My sister looked up from her phone, scrolling through resort photos. So you're saying your vacation is more important than my mental health? You're saying spending time with a fiancé you talk to every day matters more than helping me avoid a breakdown? I'm saying I planned first. I'm saying you knew about my trip and booked yours anyway. I'm her word with no additions, removals, or changes. Was I jealous of my sister? Had I always resented her? Was I trying to take her child because I didn't have one? Was this about sibling rivalry? No, I answered each time. This is about a child who was left to die. Nothing else matters. The surprise witness came before closing arguments. A woman from high school, my sister's friend. She testified that she had found my sister unconscious from an overdose 8 months earlier. Bean in his crib in a soaked diaper, surrounded by filth, clearly left alone for hours. I called 911, she said. They took her to the hospital. I thought they'd investigate, check on Bean. Nothing happened. I called CPS anonymously because I was scared. Why come forward now? The attorney asked. Because I've seen the news, she said. I've watched her pretend she's the victim, that her sister is lying. That baby almost died that day. He almost died again in February. How many times does he have to almost die before we stop allowing it? My sister snapped. She screamed at the witness, at me, at the room. Her attorney tried to calm her. The judge threatened contempt. My mother cried. Security removed her. The judge delivered the ruling bluntly. I am awarding full physical and legal custody to the father, effective immediately. The mother will serve 8 months in county jail for child endangerment and violating a protective order, followed by 5 years probation. She must complete substance abuse treatment and parenting classes before even being considered for supervised visitation. The maternal grandmother will face separate charges for her involvement in the harassment campaign. This is one of the clearest cases of child endangerment and family dysfunction I have seen. My sister screamed from the hallway. My mother collapsed sobbing. The father cried too, holding Bean like someone might take him again. The judge turned to me. Miss Rowan, thank you for your courage. You may have saved this child's life. I nodded and left through the side exit. The aftermath didn't feel like victory, just exhaustion. My sister went straight to jail. My mother made bail but was ordered to stay away from me. My extended family went silent, embarrassed or simply afraid of legal consequences. Bean went home with his father. Sometimes the caseworker, now more like a friend, sent photos, Bean eating spaghetti in a high chair, on a swing at the park, asleep in a warm bed. 3 months later, the father called. I'm listing you as emergency contact, he said. If something happens to me, I want you to take custody. Not her family, not the state. You're the one who saved him. I didn't know what to say. I don't want to erase her, he added. I want him to know biology isn't the same as family. I want him to know you chose to protect him. Thank you, I said. Thank you, he replied, for giving him a chance at a life worth having. The second custody crisis came without warning in September. Bean's father was in a serious car accident, T-boned by someone who ran a light. Broken ribs, punctured lung, fractured pelvis. Months of recovery ahead. CPS called me on a Thursday. Would I take temporary custody while he healed? The alternative was foster care. I said yes. What else could I say? Bean came the next day. He didn't remember me. Not really. But he adjusted. Kids adapt. He settled into the apartment, the routine, the new adult feeding him and tucking him in. His father video called every night from his hospital bed, reading stories through the screen. My family found out within a week. No idea how. The address was confidential. The custody agreement private. But they knew. The attempted kidnapping happened at daycare. My uncle again, this time sober, with a forged note claiming a family emergency. The director asked for ID, called me to confirm. When she refused to release Bean, he tried to grab him and run. He was arrested in the parking lot, Bean screaming in his arms. CPS fast-tracked my temporary custody. My sister tried filing motions from jail to block it. My mother hired a lawyer to seek custody despite her own charges. The family insisted blood made them entitled. The judge dismissed all of it. This family has shown repeated disregard for the child's safety. This court will not reward that behavior. Bean stayed with me for 4 months. 4 months of daycare drop-offs, bedtime stories, spilled juice, and sleepless nights. 4 months of nightly video calls where his father slowly recovered. Bed to wheelchair, wheelchair to walker, walker to cane. It was exhausting, terrifying, but surprisingly beautiful. Watching Bean trust again, watching him laugh without that guarded edge, watching him run to me when he fell instead of crying silently. When his father was finally cleared to take him home, Bean cried, not because he didn't want his dad. He ran to him immediately. But when I tried to leave, he held my hand and whispered, "Stay." It broke something inside me. "I'll visit," I promised. "A lot." His father smiled over Bean's shoulder, a look that said, he understands. "We're family now," he said. "Not because of her, despite her, you're always welcome." The final hearing was in October, 8 months after everything began. Termination of parental rights, official and permanent. This wasn't about custody anymore. It was about legally severing ties. The courtroom felt different, less dramatic, more procedural. The judge had a thick file, 8 months of reports, evaluations, tests, every incident stacked together. My sister appeared by video from jail. Thinner, older, orange jumpsuit instead of designer clothes. "I want full custody when I get out," she said. "He's my son. None of this would have happened if my sister hadn't interfered. She made me look bad. I was just stressed." The judge's tone went cold. "I have reviewed your case. There is documented abandonment in dangerous conditions, positive drug tests, violations of protective orders, organized harassment, and no sign of remorse. In 23 years, I have rarely seen a clearer case for permanent termination. But he is a child who deserves safety. You have proven you cannot provide it. Your rights are permanently terminated. No contact until he turns 18. The gavel came down. The video cut off mid-protest. My mother tried to appeal. Denied. Tried for grandparent rights. Denied. A few more threats came, then faded as the holidays approached and the legal consequences settled in. Marcus's visa came through in December. We had a quiet Christmas, peaceful in a way I hadn't felt in years. We married in January at the courthouse. Simple, calm, no drama, just us and 2 witnesses. We moved to Germany in March, almost exactly 1 year after I found Bean. New country, new job, new life. I still email Bean's father. He sends updates. Bean is 3 now. Tall, energetic, loves dinosaurs and trucks, shares his snacks at daycare. In the photos, he looks happy. Real happiness, not the fragile kind. I haven't heard from my sister in over a year. My mother's emails go unopened. The rest of the family has moved on to other chaos. Sometimes I still have nightmares. The doorstep, the footage, the bruises. But then I check my email and there's Bean at the park, laughing on a swing, cheeks rosy and bright. It was worth it. Every threat, every hearing, every sleepless night. That's the thing about families. The ones you're born into aren't always the ones that matter. Sometimes family is the people who protect you when it counts. Sometimes it's the ex who kept records for 2 years, the daycare director who didn't fall for the forged note, the judge who saw the truth, the father who rebuilt his life around his son. And sometimes it's the aunt who opened the door and decided a child's safety mattered more than keeping the peace. I'm okay being that person. Last week, Bean's father sent a video. Bean on a bike with training wheels, wobbling and laughing. He stopped, looked at the camera, and asked, "Did Aunt Rowan see?" "I did it." His father texted after, "He asks about you all the time. Wants to know when you're visiting. You're family to him." "I'm saving for tickets. Maybe this summer. Maybe we'll take him to the park or the zoo, or let him run around showing how high he can jump. Maybe my husband and his father will swap stories while Bean tells me everything he knows about dinosaurs, which is, apparently, a million billion things. Maybe it won't feel like surviving anymore. Maybe it'll feel like a normal Saturday with family, the quiet kind of normal I never thought I'd have. After everything, quiet and normal sounds perfect.